And I was having these migraines and the nausea, and he was like, have you asked the migraines and the nausea what they're trying to tell you?
What are some of the lessons that you have learned throughout that really stood out to you?
But the pain, it went from like 7 to 10 out of 10, constant pain that never went away, to literally zero. It took 10 years to figure out that that was endometriosis. Yeah, I think for a couple of years there, I was going partially blind in the sunlight.
Along with all of our struggles and our hardship, there's always a silver lining.
I think maybe for almost 3 years, I would wake almost every night with either a panic attack or just intense anxiety, nightmares, insomnia. There's really bad insomnia.
Hi, I'm Sinclair. I'm a fasting and detoxification coach with over 10 years of experience, helping people heal naturally through fasting, nervous system regulation, and detoxification. I've guided over 300 people, and I've completed multiple extended water fasts, including a 40-day fast, and created a fasting documentary viewed by millions around the world. On this channel, we explore healing, health, and human potential. I'm so happy to have you here. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Sinclair Fischer-Gray, and I'm a fasting and detoxification coach and have been for about 10 years now. I help people deal and heal from all different kinds of chronic illnesses using fasting and other methods. Today, we're going to be talking to a young woman named Rose Bennett. She's a friend of mine and also fasted here in Bali at a retreat that I work at. And she has overcome a lot in her life. She has healed from endometriosis and Lyme disease. Endometriosis is one of the less common ones that we see, but both are incredibly difficult to overcome, typically in the sort of modern natural methods or sort of mainstream methods, I should say. So she has one hell of a story, and I'm really excited to share it with you. And, you know, in this episode, we really dive into what she went through, the different tools that she used that didn't work, and then finally the ones that did work. And it's quite graphic. You're going to hear a really in-depth story, a really heartfelt story. And I'm really excited for all of you that are dealing with your own challenges to hear this, because I think it's going to light a real fire of hope in all of you. So without further ado, let's get stuck into the story. Well, Rose, it's great to have you with me, and it's so nice to see you again. And I'm really looking forward to diving into your story.
Thank you. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah. So I know a lot's happened since we spoke, even just a few months ago. It was like 3, 4 months ago. Um, I was really looking forward to hearing about all those changes. But do you want to take us back to just the beginning of all of this and just take us through your story and everything that's happened?
I started getting pain and sickness when I was a teenager, um, mainly intense pelvic pain and fatigue. And it took 10 years to figure out that that was endometriosis. At the time, the doctors pretty much just, um, yeah, well, they couldn't figure out what was going on. I think endometriosis was just less known back then. Um, and yeah, they kind of dismissed it as me being an attention-seeking teenager. And so, of course, after that, I just started internalizing the pain and found natural ways to just manage it. And then, so that was 15 years ago. About 9 years ago now, I went to Sri Lanka and I got a tick bite, and I didn't know about Lyme disease back then, but yeah, it took eight years after that to be diagnosed with Lyme disease. That basically over the course of 15 years, pretty much, my health was just declining and declining to the point where I was really just completely bedbound for a good 2 or 3 years.
And you were how
And
old were you at the time?
um, when it
So
was the worst.
you've been diagnosed with Lyme, you've got endometriosis and Lyme, and how old were you at that time?
So I was about 25 when I was diagnosed with endometriosis, and then it was only last year that I was diagnosed with Lyme. So that came
Okay.
really late. Yeah,
Right, right.
yeah,
Okay.
um, yeah.
All right. So that's a lot to take on for a 25-year-old.
Well, I I guess it was a relief to know that um, that I wasn't just like oversensitive or making up all the pain in my head. So I think
Yeah.
at that time, that's when things started to become, I guess I became more empowered knowing that there were treatment options that I could at least try. And then of course the roller coaster of hope and disappointment as every treatment that I tried didn't work. So yeah. Um,
What were the treatments that you tried, can I ask?
yeah, so well technically they say endometriosis has no cure, but really like what traditional medicine has to offer is um, well, birth control one, which is one I didn't try, but also progesterone hormone therapy.
Mm.
And uh, I went through some treatments of these pain blockers. So there were injections that were just meant to block pain in that area.
Mm.
Um, but then really the kind of gold standard is getting the laparoscopy surgery, which I did have as well. And
What did that entail?
so, well, that was just three, like a keyhole surgery.
Okay.
And then they just went through and I had a really great surgeon, which I was really, really lucky to have. And yeah, he just went in and at that stage it was stage four and it was spread through multiple organs.
Mm.
But he was able to actually remove the endometrial tissue or endometriosis tissue.
Yeah.
Um, and it did help with with the extremity of the pain. But after that, I still continued to get just sicker and sicker, and I think at that point it was really probably more so the Lyme disease. But at that point, I didn't know that that's what it was,
Yeah.
uh, and and my hormones still weren't well in balance because endometriosis it really thrives on estrogen and actually starts to create its own estrogen source within the like local area. So it's like I worked with a lot of naturopaths and things to get the my hormone like the east like to lower my estrogen and raise the progesterone. But of course, because it's not just systemic at that point, it was just almost impossible to actually balance my hormones. And then that environment feeds the endometriosis, so it's kind of just a self-perpetuating cycle at that point. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of those treatments, I guess, they're really not addressing the cause as well. So the cause
No.
goes unchecked and then keeps perpetuating, like you're saying.
Yeah, and because there is really no known cause for endometriosis.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, there's different theories, but I think through fasting, I realized that for both Lyme disease and endometriosis, really, I think it's having so much toxicity in the body that creates inflammation, and then from there, disease or an acidity, and from there, disease can take hold. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So you tried a number of things, surgery, different treatments, different pharmaceutical treatments. At what point was it like, all right, none of this is working. I need to try something else?
So that was, yeah, it was after surgery, which was really my kind of last hope with traditional medicine for endometriosis and natural because I tried for a good 2 or 3 years. I tried natural medicine for that and it just wasn't strong enough
Mm.
or it just wasn't enough. And and I think partly because maybe even if my body was working to get endometriosis under control, the Lyme disease was just so um, uh, it had really got into because I had the co-infections, Bartonella and Babesia as well. So it was really in every system of my body, and the inflammation from that, I think, just intensified the endometriosis. So they were really playing off each other, I think. But it was, yeah, so about 8 months after surgery, I was just back in the same place, or I never left the same place, which was pretty much just unable to really function at all. And I was in a really desperate place then, I think, because the hopelessness of it was starting to set in,
Mm.
and an element of PTSD as well, with just enduring such intense pain for such a long amount of time and not being able to
Mm.
escape. My dad's friend had just been at a fasting retreat with Tyler in Bali for Parkinson's, and he shared some of his story and the results he was getting from that. And we basically got straight in contact with Tyler and were over there within a month, I think. Uh, and yeah, it was really quite quickly, quite soon into that fast that at least some of the symptoms started to lift, but also the intensity of the detox was so much as well that it was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. But I knew that there was a lot of healing happening, and
Mm.
it was after that first water fast that I did that my hormones really just came into balance, and they've been pretty perfect since, which
Wow.
was amazing. But that
Mm.
first fast didn't quite get the Lyme disease under control. So I think,
Right. Okay. So
yeah,
can I ask, like, the symptoms, can you talk about what the symptoms were prior to the fast? Like you mentioned pain, like what were your other symptoms?
yeah. So severe pelvic pain, hip pain, lower back pain, uh, pain that just radiated down my legs. It was kind of like a constant sciatica, really. Um, and also, at some point, the only area of my body that didn't have pain was kind of my elbows down, really.
Mm.
Some places worse than others, and just intense, constant migraines, brain fog, just inability to think straight, like really bad eye pain and eye strain, and to the point where for some reason sunlight was a trigger. Or that's a common trigger for the Bartonella. So the Bartonella infection attacks the brain, and
That's the Lyme, right?
that's the Lyme
Yeah.
co-infection. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for a couple of years there, I was going partially blind in the sunlight. So that kind of pressed me even further into just like a dark room,
Mm.
um, and constant nausea. Like just felt like I'd just been on a roller coaster, but from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep, just this constant nausea and mast cell activation syndrome. So I was reacting really bad to foods and smells and um, yeah, all sorts of things. And
Mm.
then there were psychological symptoms as well, which I can't be sure how much of it was PTSD related. There was an element of like an emotional trauma that I'd experienced when I was around 24 years old, but it was noticeably after that that a lot of my symptoms got so much worse as well. So I think that being in that survival state and just having an overactive nervous system caused a lot of anxiety, panic attacks and nightmares, insomnia,
Mm.
um, and then just crying, grief, like uncontrollable crying, and yeah, really just finding it difficult to regulate my nervous system, I suppose, and just find a grounded state. And then in that state, I think I realize now, because even since all my symptoms have gone away, I've had a couple of times where uh, I'll have like momentary relapse of mainly nausea and migraines, and I realize it's definitely related to like just processing something emotionally and
Yeah.
that nervous system dysregulation. So anyway, that was a
Mm.
bit of a side tangent, but I think it
Yeah.
was just an important key, really, that when I could truly process that really changed things physically for me. So
Mm. Mm.
yeah,
Okay. All right. So going back to that first fast that you did, which was just last year, right? 2025.
the first fast, no, the first fast was 2024, and
Oh,
then
okay.
I did another
So
one
you
in
did your first fast
2024.
2024. You said you started to see some improvements. Could you talk to us about the first fast and just some of the improvements that you saw and your experience?
So yeah, let me think back. So I was only able to do 12. So I was there for 28 days. I was only able to do 12 days on water when my goal was 21 because my blood pressure dropped so low and we just couldn't get it up with all the tricks of
Yeah.
lemon juice, more salt, all those things. And so um, so after that, I went on to juice and stayed on juice for maybe 30 or 40 days. And then during that time, I think I noticed the nausea definitely lifted pretty quick. And I think that's quite probably quite expected because you're taking away a lot of the triggers, like I
Mm.
guess mainly being gut and food
Yeah.
related. And I think the migraines, I mean, everything kind of got worse and then got better. So, though that first week for both fasts was just intensified of everything and
Mm.
vomiting and all sorts of liquids coming out of me from all sorts of places.
Sounds like fasting, yeah.
But then I think the most beautiful thing with both fasts was just because the other worst symptom was just crushing chronic fatigue.
Oh yeah.
Um,
But
so
you would have had a lot of fatigue already, right? So was it just like more intense than the fatigue you already experienced?
oh no, I mean sorry, yeah, the symptoms when I was just like describing my list of symptoms before the
Okay,
fatigue
before.
was
Gotcha.
really so bad.
Gotcha.
So yeah, what was so beautiful about both fasts was the fatigue really lifted quite quickly. And of course, you've got the lightheadedness and the dizziness, but it's nothing like that just crushing chronic fatigue.
Mm,
So
mm.
I started to just feel so much lighter and just a sense of vitality returning, energy,
Yeah,
and with that getting brain clarity back, which is just it's such a beautiful thing
that's so
going on.
cool. So cool.
Yeah.
Because there's such a perception around fasting that if I fast, I'm going to get really tired. I'm going to get so much fatigue. I'm going to get really like I'm going to lose my clarity and that can happen. Obviously, the body goes through such a deep detox, but in your case, it's like you'd come from so much of that already, and then fasting actually helped kind of bring you out of that, which is so amazing to hear. Um, so okay, so like that first fast brought about some change for sure, and you experienced some healing, but like you said, it wasn't quite everything you needed, and so you finished that fast and you still had some lingering symptoms.
I did, uh, and but I think they more crept back in uh, with the juice somewhat. Like that gave me more energy because of the sugar, but also
Mm.
brought back some of the nausea and that sort of thing. There was a great lift in pain as well, but
Okay.
it didn't completely go away. Um, and I felt my nervous system got really stabilized when I was over there, which it really lifted. Like I could sleep. I remember being able to sleep through the night by the end of being over there. Whereas so out, um, I think maybe for almost 3 years, I would wake almost every night with just either a panic attack or just intense anxiety, nightmares, there's really bad insomnia. So being able to sleep was really a big one as well.
Yeah.
But when I started introducing even just the fruit, symptoms came back pretty quick. So I went back onto juice for maybe another month. Oh, and the blood pressure problem, that my blood pressure remained really low even when I was on.
How low are we talking?
Well, it dropped to 60 over. Um, I can't remember the bottom number,
Okay,
but
60, that's incredibly low, yeah.
yeah, so that was when I was on water, and then it stayed around maybe 75, 80 all the way until I really was able to have foods again.
Okay.
So I was just really dizzy, and I just didn't have a lot of stamina or
Mm.
um,
Mm.
So yeah, and then I don't think it was the problem of the food necessarily that caused the symptoms to creep back. I think it was more that I just hadn't, well, I obviously hadn't gotten rid of the Lyme bacteria. And
Yeah.
what I understand with fasting as well is that it, so the Lyme bacteria, it can hide in biofilms, which are like a little protective film, and fasting can break down, like it'll start breaking down those films, it'll release the bacteria back
Mm.
into the bloodstream, and then if you go for long enough, it'll kill the bacteria. But I didn't go for long enough, so I think it actually released a lot of the Lyme bacteria, and the
Uh,
Lyme symptoms actually got much worse for the following,
right.
I guess it was 2 years. Um, and I think, um, and it was only after that. So I was being coached with Tyler, and he was the one who, so I hadn't been diagnosed yet. So he was actually the one who suspected Lyme disease, encouraged that I get tested, and then of course it did come back as positive. So
Right.
that kind of just started that whole journey as well, and again another level of wow, I'm not crazy, I'm not just weak and making all this up in my head. There's really something going on, which
Yeah.
again was an empowering thing. I'd lost some. I wasn't, I believed in fasting because I really did feel the benefits of it, but I didn't know if it was enough to get rid of Lyme disease. So I ended up going to a Lyme clinic overseas and got really intensive treatment, which I think I've mentioned to you before.
Mm.
So I was there for 2 months, in the clinic, like 8 to 10 hours a day, just, yeah, really intensive treatment.
Was it the antibiotics?
Yeah, it was a lot of IV antibiotics,
Yeah.
and also, and they did balance it with with a lot of detox as well. But of
Okay.
course, it was all detox in terms of like putting things in rather than like removing. So
Right.
it was like detox IVs and glutathione and hypothermia,
Okay.
um, and yeah, and also a lot of ozone therapy and plasmapheresis and blood cleaning therapies and stem cell injections. Um, yeah, it was, and because it was so much, I placed a lot of hope and belief in that because I was like, how
Yeah.
can you go through all of this and the Lyme bacteria still survive?
Yeah.
But I came home and I was just this was probably those 8 months between coming back from treatment and doing my second fast were probably really the worst. Like that's when I felt like my body was just really shutting down. I was just fading
Wow.
into nothing. I was crawling just to get from my bed to the bathroom or kitchen or um yeah, I couldn't walk without some kind of aid, and I was just, yeah, I really felt like I was fading out of the world. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, so like you've pretty much hit like a rock bottom in that period. You've
Yeah.
done your fast, you've gone to do your treatment, and then you've hit that rock bottom, and then you've gone back to the hub to do another fast.
Oh, I was just gonna say, through that time, it just became more and more obvious that my body was kind of just screaming for a detox.
Mm.
So, um, yeah, I think I really knew that that's just what I had to do at that
Okay.
point. And
Mm.
but also I got into, I'd just been through so many um, peaks and valleys of just placing all my hope and belief into treatments and then being
Mm.
disappointed and crushed, and just the emotional roller coaster of that. It just really got too much. So by the time I got to this fast, it was really my mentality was one of just complete surrender and letting go of attachment to outcome, even. And I knew based on the last fast that at least I would just get some relief from symptoms, and that's really all I all I let myself hope for at that point.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you're back at the hub and you're doing another fast. Can you take us through what this second one was, what it was like and your experience and the outcome?
Yeah. So, um, so again, the first week was horrible. I just wanted to go home because
Yeah.
I really stayed off pain medication and any kind of medication to reduce symptoms for all that time until I got to that Lyme clinic and they got me onto this anti-nausea tablet called Zofran, which is really strong.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was pretty much taking that every day for the nausea, and it didn't take it away completely, but it just gave me it just took the edge off it, I guess.
Mm.
So, yeah, I think this fast was even harder because I had been relying on some pain medication and also this anti-nausea medication. So just to just to be off all of that and have to even just endure the actual full force of the symptoms was
Mm.
really intense.
Right.
But I guess in the scheme of things, it actually started to lift pretty quickly, the nausea. Um,
In that first week.
I think by the end of the first week, the nausea was definitely starting to lift.
Amazing. What a relief that must have been.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. When you
it's
see things changing and your body healing like quite quickly at any point, but during a fast, it's like there's a lot of relief, a lot of excitement,
yeah. I think
experience.
it just quickly built my faith as well, and I think
Mm.
allowed me to just yeah pour all my belief into it, even though I was hesitant to do that. But I do think there's an element
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
need to do that to just get your entire mind and vision on healing,
Totally.
rather than
Yeah.
holding on to illness in any way. Um, and yeah, it was really the lifting of the fatigue that
Mm.
started happening after the first week. All my pain went away by the third week, which was the
Wow.
most incredible change because
Mm.
the headaches and the nausea, they weren't as intense, but they did stick around even after the fast for a few months. They were the longest symptoms to drop away. But the pain, it went from like 7 to 10 out of 10, constant pain that never went away, to literally zero. And still to this day,
Wow.
I'm pain free. So
That's so good.
it really is a miracle that
Mm. To
um
this day, still pain free.
yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. You
It
went, how many
really
years
is
of pain did you have? It was like, sounds
15.
15
Yeah.
years.
And it started just pelvis and then spread through my whole body. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Um,
So you did 21 days on that second fast. You made it to the 21, which was
I got
your goal, right?
20, well, I got 26 days and then
Okay.
started on water and then started introducing coconut water in a small amount of juice.
Okay. Yeah.
And then by day 28, I was, yeah, drinking more juice and broth.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't think I ate because they usually break it on day 21 by eating fruit. I
Yeah.
don't think I did that until oh, because I extended a week as well. So that would have been day, I guess, maybe 40 or 30 something.
Right.
So yeah, but because originally Tyler had said that to get rid of Lyme completely, um, the he was most confident that that could be achieved by doing 28 days on water. So that was really my goal.
Okay.
And again, my blood pressure was dropping and I was getting really dizzy and starting to faint and things like that. And
Is that
um,
towards the end of the fast?
yeah, and he
Okay.
like of the water fast.
Yeah.
So his guidance was really to get on the coconut water at least
Mm.
and just start.
Mm.
And I think, oh, it was my sodium that dropped really low, which juice
Right.
is necessarily going to help because
Mm.
that's salt. But broths, that was actually I loved the broth so much, I think because
Yeah.
of the salt in it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was the only thing that dropped low for me during that fast was the sodium. I think
Okay.
that contributed to some of the challenges that I was having really before the end there. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you finished that fast, you did 26 days, your symptoms have just about all gone away, or was there anything kind of lingering at that point?
Yeah, I did have pretty, the nausea was still getting bad. It wasn't constant, but it was still there. And also, I was getting pretty intense migraines as well.
Okay.
Not constant, but yeah, those two things hadn't left. But I felt just full vitality again, energy. Um, and I just felt like myself because um, I think one of the most intense things really was all the psychological symptoms and the PTSD and or Bartonella or whatever was causing it. And again, during that fast, it was within that first week that I was just sleeping really deeply through the night and the panic attacks, the anxiety. Yeah, I stopped crying. I stopped crying. Which
Yeah.
I was literally uncontrollably crying every day for years. Just with
Wow.
this immense sense of grief that I didn't even understand. There was no story behind it, but my body was just really, really sad.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I think just going home with feeling like I had my brain back, my body back to be able to walk without pain,
Mm,
um, and and also to have my heart back because
yeah.
I really, yeah, I think it's hard to just stay in the presence of love when you're really, yeah, experiencing those psychological attacks. So that was even with the headaches and the nausea still lingering, that was really enough for me to just be just really full with gratitude and just reverence and thankfulness and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I just wanted to take a short break from this episode to talk about you. If you're having trouble on your own journey and you're having trouble healing and overcoming a problem of your own, then maybe it's time you work with a coach. I've been working with people for the better part of 10 years, helping them overcome different health concerns like cancer, Lyme disease, skin issues, digestive issues, a whole host of things, because everything really comes down to the one same underlying cause. When you address this cause, everything improves. So if you're looking for help and you'd like some guidance, you can book in for a free call with me. I also have different group programs and one-on-one coaching programs. I'd love to help you. I'd love to help you get well. So if that's something you're looking for, just take a second now, book in a call, and then get back to the episode. Okay, so you've left the hub, and what transpired after that? So it's been almost a year since you fasted at the hub, or that second fast. How long has it been?
And that was in September last year. So
September last year. Okay,
maybe
six, seven
6 months.
months. 6 months. Okay. So what's happened in the time from that second fast to now in the last 6 months?
So interestingly, I did do a test like kind of soon when I got back, and it showed that the Lyme disease and the Bartonella had left my system, but the Barbasia was still lingering. That was the one.
Yeah.
And I also had these other infections that are known to contribute to the chronic fatigue syndrome and the fibromyalgia and things like that.
Mm.
And they were all gone. All I had left was this Barbasia, and that's known to cause migraines and nausea. So I did kind of have an answer for that, and really kept on the programming and working, cleaning that out of my system. I was on a rebuild first, like just rebuilding my body. And we got a hyperbaric oxygen chamber as well, so I was doing that every day, and which is actually what's right there behind me.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, but it was in January. I just did a 3 day water fast, and um, there was an emotional clearing involved in it, and actually just a lot of prayer on that. And
Mm.
it was after that water fast and this night when I was just praying so intense, like so like with my whole heart against just this thing that I felt like was really tied in with the nausea and the migraines. And after that, it was the nausea and the migraines lifted, and I think it was just a month ago that I went back to this man who tested me, and he tested again, and the Barbasia is gone as well. So that's
Wow.
well, yeah, everything's gone,
Wow.
and yeah, and still, so really day to day, I'm living symptom free
That's
and
incredible. Sounds like
disease.
there's a little bit of a divine intervention that happened.
Oh, absolutely. And I think this happened in so many moments throughout the journey. But well, my personal divine intervention, it really was moments with Jesus when I felt his presence, his healing presence with me, and just really just surrendering to him in prayer, and there just time after time. Um, yeah, I don't know. I won't go into too much detail, but he was really my divine intervention that
Mm,
I think really just gave me such a strength to hold on through
yeah,
everything,
yeah, yeah,
and something to just put my full faith into,
yeah.
and I don't think I would have got to that point of just complete surrender and trust and faith in the outcome without
Mm, mm. It helped
having,
you let go of all the fear, it sounds like.
yeah, and just really just building a really sincere relationship with God where
Mm,
um, I'm just putting my attention on inviting in that presence rather than focusing on the pain or the hopelessness. And
mm, mm.
um, yeah, I think that's been that's been aside from all of obviously the physical power of fasting. I think the metaphysical power of faith and
Yeah,
just God's presence in our hearts is really, I think, just it's a great power to have, especially through something like a chronic illness.
absolutely. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, okay, your journey sounds like you've come a long way, like 15 years from pain, endometriosis, Lyme disease, two fasts, obviously a huge experience. What are some of the lessons that you have learned throughout that really stood out to you?
yeah. I guess I've touched on it again. The just being in a place of surrender rather than survival and fighting.
Mm,
And even I would say, I guess for a long time I was really trying to do everything in just my power and strength in a way. And yeah, when I was just really able to just surrender completely into the power of something so much greater than me, which is what I
mm,
call God.
mm,
And um, and yeah, just really develop that relationship in my heart and just really, I guess, yeah, place my trust and my faith in that, and um, just knowing there's something carrying me as well. That it's that's the great power in this world, not like the power of disease um and and I guess taking power away from the disease and priority into
mm,
that. And I think what you learn through chronic illness really is that everything in this world breaks or decays or falls away.
mm.
And the one constant thing that we have is our heart, our relationship with spirit, with God.
Yeah.
And and that's just the great beauty of this whole world. And I think through all of those 15 years, having so many lessons of all of the things that fell away over time, and all the things that I had to let go of, and um, and all the things that I placed importance in that ultimately I couldn't uphold because I got so unwell. Yeah, I think as those things fall away, it just reveals to you what's most important, which is really like family, the people that I love, the people that just remained my steady pillars of strength and who supported me through all of it. I had just this beautiful community, such an amazing family who were just really at some point all I had. And I think, yeah, finding the moments even in when it was so hard physically, just finding all the moments of beauty, just just in that, and letting that fill my heart and my spirit. And um, I think that's something that I've really carried with me. And I think even though I have wellness now and all the opportunities of the world are opening up, I can really see that it just doesn't have such a grip on me. Like I have their passions that I will yeah, like pursue and move forward into. But I think
Yeah.
still that core remains is just family, the people that I love, and God is really just the heart and the center of everything, or like what's important. and
Yeah.
and having health and vitality, that's
Of course.
obviously
Yeah.
always going to be like a priority and something that I'm
Yeah.
going to be um I think for I was even just crying this morning, I think, as I was thinking about doing this talk with you,
Mm.
of just how incredible it truly is to have health and vitality after not having it, and just this
Mm.
renewed gratitude for just the simplicity of being alive, being able to walk, being able to just breathe and be and consume things without being so sick, being able
Yeah.
to drive in a car and go out in the sunlight. I've actually been able to enjoy summer this year,
Nice.
and spend time in the sun because I'm not like allergic to the sun anymore. So
Yeah.
I think yeah. What was your question? It was like silver linings. Was that your question? Or
Yeah, yeah, like
yeah.
the things that the gifts of this whole experience.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever lose that, or at least I want to remain conscious just to
Mm.
be truly grateful,
Mm.
and just to simply, yeah, be alive and
Yeah,
have
that's beautiful.
love in
What
my
a
heart.
gift. Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Well, thank you for sharing that because I think that's the part that is important for I think people to hear that I believe that along with all of our struggles and our hardships, there's always a silver lining and there's something there for us to learn and to discover. And certainly it sounds like you have discovered so many things about yourself and your relationship with God and life. So yeah, congratulations and just congratulations on all your success because obviously you've come so far. So happy for you that you've been able to get out of what sounds like just such a difficult situation, so much pain, so much suffering, and now here you are reborn into a new life and a new body and a new mindset, a new spirit. And when I first met you, you were just coming out of your fast, your second fast. You were at the hub, and I remember looking at you. I didn't know anything about you. I didn't even know where you were at on your fast or anything. But I remember looking at you, just thinking, "Wow, this woman looks like angelic. She's glowing." And you had that like glow about you. You have that glow about you now. And and I just remember thinking, wow, like you really look like you've just come out of something. And sure enough, we spoke shortly after and you were like, yeah, I've just finished my fast. You told me your story and I thought, you look like you look the part. So
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you, truly. And I'm so grateful that you shared your story with us all as well. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Cool. And yeah, I'm excited to share your story.
Thank you for your time and listening and questions.